was really bad.
The scorecards are a fucking joke.
It was, but don't mind that.
That one's the right one. How many do you have? Five and three. That's it. Spaced them out, I think she said. How'd you score it, Jonathan?
What?
How did you score it?
I do five after first 6, 5-1 to you. And then three in the last 6. You won more rounds, but he just won his rounds more convincing.
He just went down like that, like one down and said you from himself.
You can't get round to doing better.
I don't have any issues with the fight. Fighters have bad nights. Fighters get gifts. We've seen Canelo, in a lot of people's opinion, not my opinion. Some people say that he got a gift against Lenny Lara. Some people say he got a gift against Golovkin in the first fight. In my opinion, I covered the fight. You can go watch my video. I'm actually probably going to pull it up at the end of this video. I think that Callum Smith had a bad night. And if I'm correct, I believe I had him losing to none other than this man, John Ryder. Callum Smith is now going to take on Canelo Alvarez for the full WBA Super World 168-pound title and the Ring Magazine 168-pound title, December the 19th, 2020. I was going to say 2019. Look, Lord knows, 2020's got us all fucked up. On the DAZN of all places, where Canelo is no longer obligated. Basically, Canelo, from my understanding, is on a one-fight deal with Matchroom, which is a win for Matchroom because they can say they promoted Canelo Alvarez. Now, here's the thing. I'm not going to sit here and be all long-winded. I'm going to say this. Callum Smith has a very, very good chance. Very fundamentally sound. 6'3". Or was he say he's 6'3"? He's not listed as 6'4". 6'3". However, defensively, there's a lot of body right there for Canelo to be able to hit. Will Callum Smith be able to do what people thought he was going to do, or people thought he was going to be able to do when he won the World Boxing Super Series, is be able to keep Canelo off of him with the jab and the straight? Will he have enough power and enough skill to keep Canelo honest? Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Stop it. What is it with dogs that, like, when they see you doing something, or like you're on the phone or whatever, they think like, oh, okay, I'm invisible. I'm just going to do dumb shit in the background. Can you stop it, man? Anyway, as I was saying, this right here is behind the scenes footage from Callum Smith's last fight against John Ryder, which was nearly almost a year ago. This weekend will be a year, November the 23rd of 2019. And before that, he was riding pretty high. Yeah, the Hassan Endon fight, wasn't nobody really feeling that. But at that point in time, he couldn't get a fight. He was one of the most avoided guys at that point. Hell, you know, I don't even know how Avni Yildirim and Anthony Durrell, I remember the politics because I covered those fights. But I'm glad that Callum Smith is getting his shot. And a lot of people are bitching and complaining because they're like, why Canelo was fighting guys on their short notice and all type of stuff like that. Listen, this is what boxers are built for. For times like this where it's like, yo, you were in a pandemic. You know, you're supposed to be so good. You're supposed to always be ready. You know, when one of the biggest fighters, in the sport, arguably, come, and call you and hit you up, Canelo, then it's like, yo, you got to take the shot, right? You got to take the call. So I'm not going to be trying to hear no late notice excuses or anything like that because, truth be told, it means nothing. You know, a guy like Caleb Plant who was saying, well, at one point in time, how many months he said he needed. Remember Danny Jacobs years back before he fought Golovkin, he said he needed a certain amount of time. It's like this, yo, do you want the fight or not? Now, the Caleb Plant situation, we don't know what happened with that. Obviously, from my understanding and, media speculation, they couldn't get a deal done, especially since the fact that the fight was going to have to be on pay-per-view. So, us boxing fans and media, we should be grateful that we're getting this fight on the DAZN. Over in the UK is actually supposed to be helping the DAZN launch, even though it's going to be on Texas time. So I'm guessing what? It's going to be a crowd. We don't know what arena they're going to use yet. So Texas, as it stands right now, can still have fans. Texas is also a Republican state, so I doubt that we can expect any type of closures or anything from them going forward. I mean, I haven't been watching the news, but pretty much, from my understanding, is Texas is open, so you can do events down there. As we saw, Tank Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz had a nice turnout. We're still waiting on the details. So right now it's the 18th, 1:20 in the morning. I'm guessing they're going to have some type of virtual media press conference or something within the next few days. I wouldn't even be surprised if it's on Saturday. Matchroom rolls like that. Now, of course, as time goes on, we're going to be doing many more videos. The fight is literally 30 days away. So we're going to be doing the press conference. Of course, we're going to be here for the pre-fight stuff, the post-fight stuff. People are clamoring at the tit for this because it's a Canelo fight. When Canelo fights, we all eat in regards to media. So it being on the DAZN, it is ironic, but as we can now see, is that the issue wasn't really with the DAZN. And from my understanding, it wasn't really with the DAZN. It was just that the fact that Golden Boy was moving on behalf of Canelo, and basically the contracts conflicted, and pretty much Canelo had no say. So now he's fully free and he can do whatever he wants. In my opinion, somebody like Canelo should be a free agent and shouldn't allow networks, to by the way, shout out to Salvador Rodriguez from ESPN. He had an interview with Canelo. I believe he was the first one to really break the news of Canelo possibly fighting Callum Smith. I did get a chance to watch the interview, but I didn't get a chance to fully translate it. I understand Spanish. But still a little janky with it. So as time goes on, the more closer we get to the fight, you got to understand, my job is to sell the fights. You're not going to always agree with me. We're not going to always agree. This is just the initial build-up video, and as time goes on, the job is to sell a fight, and we got to find ways Callum Smith can win, and I think he can win. He is not an opponent to take lightly, even though, yes, he got to win over, meaning Canelo, a Kovalev, vodka belly, woman beater Kovalev. Yes, he beat a Rocky Felding and to test the waters at 168 against a taller fighter, but Callum Smith is none of these guys. And I expect that a guy like Callum Smith should have been ready all of this time. Like, I'm not trying to hear no short notice shit. They should have all been ready. I know a guy like Billy Joe Saunders is probably like, damn, he's fighting Martin Murray of all people. So this is not something, put it this way, when they heard that Canelo was trying to come back in December, everybody should have been getting ready in October. Everybody should have been getting ready in September. From 154 to 175 because he moves the needle. So we're going to wait for that press conference to get here because, it's not really, it's not enough time to talk about everything. Look, there's so many implications. By the way, is this going to be for the vacant? Has it been announced? I mean, I got the press release, but I haven't even read it yet. So it's not for the vacant WBC title. It's for just the WBA Super World at 168 and the Ring Magazine title. Caleb Plant needs to stop bullshitting around. Him and David Benavidez, go ahead, fight. Stop bullshitting. But then again, what do you do with Avni Yildirim? Nobody trying to really see David Benavidez versus Avni Yildirim. I mean, yeah, if he beat for a title. But it's like, bro, yo, we're in a pandemic. Motherfuckers. I am glad to see that the WBA World Belt, fucking WBA, make me so sick. Because David Morale is going to probably be elevated to world. WBA make me so fucking sick. They really sicken me. When I say, my stomach starts to hurt, I feel like I got to take a shit when I talk about the WBA. For real. I mean, look at that resume. Even when you look at what he did with Rocky Fielding. stepping up in weight, testing the waters at 168, that's still a credible accomplishment. Yeah, you can say what you want about Kovalev, but Kovalev was Kovalev at the time. He had avenged his loss against Eliader Alvarez. Damn shame what he did to that damn dog, Kovalev, you son of a bitch. Chavez scammed this, and then later on in the night, he got scammed by some dodgy Brit and some thought bandits. If you don't know the story, they stole him and his wife's shit. He was getting his nipple rubbed and all that shit in the hotel room. Anyway, whatever. Shout out to Canelo. He didn't want motherfucking 2020 to go by without him getting a check. Shout out to Canelo, though. But yeah, the John Ryder fight, you should go back and watch that. In fact, let's do a little bit of a jump cut. Please subscribe.
Isn't a man to get carried away, and he won't, because he knows it's to do with those 3 ringside judges. I say that, but since.
Callum Smith looked like shit. All right, we're here live real time. He looked like shit. And I know what people are going to say is that he can't beat Canelo. And tonight, he can't beat Canelo. If there was a performance that he really, what are they going to say? Like that, well, yeah, maybe this will draw Canelo out, to fight him. But the way I see it right now, there's his brother Liam, who got punched in the stomach by Canelo. Very good fight with Canelo. I'm not even disrespecting. But that Ring Magazine title, it's looking like, to me, in my opinion, no disrespect to Callum Smith, but off of this performance, Canelo is the best at 160 pounds, 168 pounds. And 175 outside of Brit, that may be a little, too much to bite off, but at the same time, boy, look how fat I got. And that dusty hat is triggering me. But yeah, I did a whole, I covered boxing. Let's just leave it at that. I think Callum Smith has a chance, but looking at his last performance, he looked like shit. He looked like shit. And, the locker room, that Matchroom behind the scenes, post-fight stuff, it's just like, people was like, you survived. You got a decision off of your name, pretty much. And by the way, what is John Ryder going to be doing? And also, what's the undercard going to look like? Highly unlikely that we're going to see Ryan Garcia versus Luke Campbell, because Golden Boy probably wants that to be its own card, and Canelo's not a Golden Boy fighter. Even though Canelo and Ryan Garcia are under the same banner, and Luke Campbell and Eddie Hearn and Callum Smith are under the same promotional banner. So it's just a little, whatever. Also, what's going on with Sky Sports over in the UK, huh? It's just going to be just on the DAZN or Sky Sports? The DAZN kind of forcing they weigh in, huh? But anyway, I'm TstreeT Controversy with FightView360.com. We cover every single major fight live. Please subscribe. As I said, as soon as the press conference is announced, we're going to be here. I'm not even really talking about everything, because we don't know. We're a month away from the fight. There's going to be shoulder content that's got to fucking debut soon. People, probably right now working their asses off. You got these media events is going to have to come up, virtual Zooms, and then you're going to have all the people that are going to be upset. Like, well, why Canelo go back to the zone? And, he should have went with Al Heyman. Al Heyman would have took care of him. Like, motherfuckers, especially here in the States, they really be ass backwards. Like, they want more pay-per-views. If Canelo fights on ESPN with Top Rank, it's pay-per-view, PBC, pay-per-view. Why don't we want him fighting for $20 a month? Like, will we get more fights? It's just all weird. But once, especially them Twitter motherfuckers, don't get me started on them. Them motherfuckers is weirdos. Like, and they be in positions of power, too. They be weirdo. Anyway, I'm out. TstreeT Controversy with FightView360.com. Please subscribe.
Better fighters to fight me now. They may see I'm probably not as good as they thought I was, but listen, I know how good I am, I know how good I can be. That was nowhere near the best of me tonight, and better the opponent, I will raise my game.
Never heard you scream and shout for opponents, but this is your opportunity and your platform. We're going to talk to Eddie Hearn about what you want to do next, but one of those things that keeps getting mentioned is Anfield in the summer. Is that your number one priority, and if so, who against?
Yeah, listen, if it's possible, I'm not going to say no to it. I do want that, and I want the best names in the division. I'm not disrespecting John Ryder, but this isn't a fight. There's no fear tonight. I didn't believe John Ryder was good enough to beat me. There's fights who I believe are good enough to beat me if I don't perform, and